Anderson. I'm sorry, bro, I've got to go. Differences are becoming ever thinner. Two expressions can a variable drop into a fraction. The denominator is opposed to zeros. They emerge from an equation having equal factors that were supposed to be closed to zeros. The variable emerges as x values restricted from the domain. An equation it will make undefined if it wants. The expressions emerge with the function's solution. But here's the pièce de résistance. No one point on the graph will ever touch it. The graph will never touch it. The graph will only approach it. No one point on the graph will ever touch it. The graph will never touch it. The graph will only approach it. All the students know how the game is played. The art of the trade, how a good graph gets made. We just assume the graph touches. But as x increases, the graph will only approach it. BOBO claims the bigger power is in the bottom. The horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. BOTN claims, Anderson said, it's bigger on the top. And so basically there's no horizontal asymptote. SPUD it claims, graph approaches a ratio. I know you see them, they're the leading coefficients. SPUD it claims, well, you gotta arrange the function. You gotta arrange the function in descending order. But no one point on the graph will ever touch it. The graph will never touch it. The graph will only approach it. No one point on the graph will ever touch it. The graph will never touch it. The graph will only approach it. Now we really know how the values get so close. The y values that are calculated as the x values get to coast. We just assume that it touches. But all the points will only ever approach it. Meanwhile, some students are grappling with the fact that not every asymptote can be found with the BOBO-like ditty. Meanwhile, students are fighting over how to spell asymptote. It isn't pretty. Then Anderson approaches with the song and an invite. The students finally get it. After some insight, maybe we can solve these problems with each other and win a victory for many others. In other words, oh ho, a quid pro quo, I suppose. Wouldn't you like to graph a little better? Actually, we would. Well, this will shed some light and will provide us the insight. Well, we'll see if it works, all right? Let's go. No, 1 point on the graph will never touch it. The graph will never touch it. The graph will only approach it. No 1 point on the graph will ever touch it. The graph will never touch it. The graph will only approach it. The pledge says God we trust, and now we really get what got discussed. Now graphing it'll happen. No 1 point on the graph will ever touch a horizontal asymptote. What did they say about you? You're a dotted line that the graph will only approach. Horizontal asymptote. Now graph. Yeah. Like and subscribe.